Hi friends! Today I'm going to do another DIY card, which is a Happy Beer Day card for people who like beer, or maybe you want to give it with a pack of beer as a gift. So today it's going to be a slider card, which is going to look like that the beer glass is becoming full when you pull the little tag up. And for that I've prepared like a small sample picture of a beer glass. I want to have it here, and I'm going to paint it again so that you can see how I did it and what colors I used, but feel free to use anything else that you have at home. You can also use pencils, not necessarily markers, or you might just as well do it with watercolor or gouache or any other paint that you have at home. So I'm going to do the little glass that I have here full with beer because it's going to be at the back side of the slider card, and I decided to make it a little bit manly, so to say, and I'm going to use only black and white on the card. To make the slider part, I'm going to cut a piece of paper that is a little bit bigger than my beer but still fits into the card, so that when I fold it and put the beer picture in between the slider parts, it will still look nice on my card, but it also will cover the beer glass when the slider is still intact, in place. I'm going to cut a piece of paper which is going to be my slider. As you will see, I'm going to fold it equally so that you can already see how it's going to look like, and it should fit on your card like this, and it should also be big enough to fit the beer. And I'm going to make a cut there so that the slider can go in and out of it without any problems, and to reveal the surprise beer in the back of it. As you can see, I actually needed some time until I finished it, but you can see how it looks like. I'm going to cut the beer part a little bit because it's too big, but I'm also going to measure the parts that are going to be hidden so that the beer is going to be visible when I open the slider part, but it's not going to be too thin so that it falls apart after you use it a couple of times. So it should be stable, keep that in mind. You have to have enough space for that. So as I said, you could theoretically draw the picture on the slider itself, on the back of the slider, so that when you cut open the window for the picture, it is directly behind it. But if you don't want to risk it, you can just as well go for my option so that you can change the picture if you don't like. Another reason why you might do the picture separately is that you can do multiple sliders that you can use in different projects at once, and then you can simply add different images whenever you need a slider piece. And to make the slider complete, I'm going to cut a piece of acetate, and I'm going to draw the beer, only the lines of the beer, like a glass that looks empty, on the acetate piece, and I'm going to glue it on the inside the window of the slider, but before the picture itself. This is the slider, how it looks like. So this is basically a piece of paper with two small stop things that won't let it completely come out of the slider, so it will look more or less and be more or less stable. You can skip that part if you don't want to, but I would actually recommend doing that if you don't want anybody to ruin the card. I'm going to attach the beer as my first step, and I'm going to cut the excess parts of the paper, and now I can put the slider in it. I'm going to make it a little bit fancier with nicer corners, and now I'm going to draw the lines of the glass, of the beer glass, on the acetate that is going to hold, basically to do the trick. So this is how the slider is going to work. There is the acetate piece that looks exactly like the glass, but it's not painted, so to say it's not full, it's just an empty glass. And there is this piece of the white paper that is going to hide my drawing behind the acetate. So when you close it, it is going to look like the beer glass is just there, but it's empty. And when you pull this white part of the slider up, then you will reveal sorry, then you will reveal the glass that it's already full. So this is going to be a funny thing. And I'm going to adjust the small part of the small cut for the slider a little bit, because I'm not sure if it's moving freely. So make sure that it moves freely, and here we go. It already looks nice. So I'm going to glue only the outer parts of the slider shut, so that it won't open and it won't be ruined by just, I don't know, by accident or something. And then I have my slider and I can put it directly on the card. I have already thought how I'm going to decorate the card so that it will have a more finished look. Here it's going to look like this. So you have the slider already, and I'm using small glue dots so that it will have a little bit more space in between the slider, the acetate and the picture, and it will look nicer and better, so to say, at the end. This trick will also help the slider to move better in the slider. I'm going to stamp a tiny beer glass on top of the slider, and this is going to be like the small mark that you should pull here. And then I'm going to cut a piece of black paper, and I'm going to stick it on the white card, and I'm going to stick the slider to glue the slider on the black card. At the end, I decided to stamp Happy Beer Day using different stamps. I actually didn't have Beer Day in itself, so I decided to stamp beer using separate letters, and then the day from birthday separately. So it took me a while, but I actually liked the result, and I decided to use the same orange markers that I used for the beer also on the card itself, so that it will look more finished or more cohesive. And I added that on the small piece of paper that I stamped Happy Birthday on. Here I actually decided to take off the glues and do it again, because I didn't like how the slider moved. I hope you won't do the same mistake I did, so you can skip this part. And even though I messed up, I actually managed to correct my mistake, so it is not horrible. It happens pretty often when I do something wrong, but it's not the end of the world. Just try to make it right. If it doesn't work, then you can start again. But that's also why I decided to draw the picture of the glass separately, so just in case I mess up the slider, I can still use the picture and don't have to repeat the whole process again. As you can see, I didn't need it this time, but it might just as well happen next time I do a slider card. So I'm done with the part of the slider, finally. Took me a while, but I did it, and now I'm going to use the same cardstock to do the small the birthday wish thing, like a small ribbon from paper. And I also decided to paint a little bit, use the markers to paint the small beer glass as well, to make it look like it's full. And here we can see that I'm actually stamping beer letter by letter. Unfortunately, I didn't have a stamp that says beer, so I had to do it. And I used the birthday, the word day from birthday to complete the happy birthday sentiment. And I decided to actually go over with a marker to make it more black, so to say, to make it more beautiful. I'm really happy that I decided to do this card, because when I look for cards for men, I usually find a card for Dad's Day, Father's Day, or Valentine's Day, but I don't usually find a birthday card that is funny, that is meant to be manly but with a hint of joke. So I decided to do the beer day, and I think it's a nice thing to nice surprise with a pack of beer as well, for a birthday of your friend or boyfriend, or maybe your father. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!